All right. All right. All right. Make sure I have my chat open here. All right. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be starting this game from the very beginning. If you haven't seen it before, I do apologize. I'll give you the run through when we get in game, but I'm starting about like 2 hours into the game, like through the prologue and done like the first little bit of chapter one. So it's still pretty early into the game, but not yeah, not brand new, not brand new. Nice. All right. Um. So the gist so far, the story so far, um, there was a woman who was what is called a rogue trader, where she commands this massive ship and kind of goes into unknown space, bringing the Emperor's name and sort of um, perpetuating humanity into the stars. That's sort of our mission. Whatever planets, whatever people, whatever we encounter, we have the full authority to deal with however we wish. It is a great responsibility that is placed upon a rogue trader, but they command a great deal of respect because of that as well. Um, I am not her. I was brought to her starship apparently because I am some distant relative of hers, like some extremely muddled bloodline, but blood does still have a lot of power. Uh, so even though my connection is faint, I am made her heir. And both she and one of her other heirs are killed in the same attack against her ship, and I sort of miraculously survive. It was a pretty close call, and now I have inherited the rogue trader title and her ship and her crew. So I'm pretty new to this. There's a lot of new responsibilities. My character is maybe a bit out of his depth, but we have some very helpful staff to help us like kind of walk through the process. Anyways, anyways, to current events. After the ship got attacked, uh, we lost our navigator, who is essentially um, almost like a psychic designated driver. They can take us through the warp, which is essentially like faster than light travel, but it's a very chaotic and fucked up place. And they are able to allow us to safely traverse that so we can travel long distances. We lost ours, so we had to go get another one. We recruited her, and she's a part of our team. And now we're checking out a distress call on this other planet. So that's, that's the extremely short version. Yeah. Yeah. This is my crew. Little bit of an introduction to everyone.
Tolerate weakness.
So me, my character is named Sovin, or Sovin, however you want to go with it. Can I bring up my full portrait?
How can order be maintained in a place without compartments?
Look at how I do that.
Bulkheads?
Doesn't matter.
I would argue that it is not the size of the territory, but the competence of the governor that matters. Ugh, he did not even send a proper cortege to meet us.
Anyways, so this is my character. He is going to be dogmatic, meaning that we support the Emperor and humanity no matter what. Like, even if it requires us to brutally massacre a whole bunch of other people because there's a chance that they have chaos, madness as a part of them, or whatever, we lay down the law. You are like you're kind of like the Gestapo in a way. Like, you're the ends justify the means, 100%. Our next character is
We are the spearhead of the Imperium.
Is Abelard. He is our sort of second in command. He handles a lot of the more mundane tasks and orders around the ship. He is probably the most knowledgeable person about the ship and its protocols in our party. He has been extremely helpful in getting us acquainted with the rogue trader's tasks. He's just kind of all around a good dude. He's a good dude. Next up we have...
Did I mention that my whispers tell me jokes? Jokes that once said aloud make your eyes bleed and blood curdle. Talk about black comedy.
That's a perfect introduction to Adira, our third party member. She is a psyker. She is a commissioned psyker, I think, or no, I don't think she is. But either way, she was found by the previous rogue trader, by the person we inherited all this from, and she was like her trusted psyker. So while psychers are generally very unstable and people don't like to spend a lot of time near them because they usually fall to the warp and become demons, blah, 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 Adira seems to have a relatively good hold on her shit. The voices like actually give her pretty good advice sometimes. It might be extremely vague. Like, I think our first interaction with her, she is like spouting off some, like, it almost sounds like scripture about how death will rain from above and from the heavens and all this stuff, and we're like, what? But then the ceiling starts to collapse and metal literally is falling on us from the like the hull of the ship, the ceiling of the ship. And so, like, her warnings were true, right? Like, things were falling from the heavens. And yeah, so she gets these messages in very cryptic ways, but they do seem to tell her the truth a lot, if not all of the time, which is incredibly interesting. Next.
I'm restless. What deeds await us?
This is Argenta. She is also dogmatic like me. She has a very firm belief in the Emperor. She's incredible with firearms, and she's kind of the equivalent of like a sci-fi monk sort of thing. Like, she kills things for the glory of you know, her emperor. She doesn't enjoy killing or anything like that, but she's very good at it and does it for a purpose. Next we have Cassia.
The uncolored.
This is our navigator. This is what I was talking about before. We needed someone who could guide us through the void of dark space, and so we recruited her in her time of need, and she has agreed to join us. She doesn't really know much about the world around her. She's never really left her space station, so she's a bit naive, but she will be incredibly useful going forward. And last but not least,
What torments you?
we have Kibella, who essentially there was a cult deep within inside the ship, like a hidden spot in the lower reaches of our ship, who they believe that my becoming as a rogue trader is directly linked to some prophecy that they have, and they have assigned one of their weavers, one of their warriors to aid me, and that is Kibella. She's pretty badass and ruthless, but she's very much cult brained at the moment. So we'll have to see if there's any flexibility in that as we go forward. So I'm going to start by looking around and see if we can get some loot.
It's about time.
Grand viaduct for receiving esteemed guests is buried under the rubble. Yeah, so this planet doesn't seem to be too happy. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Okay. Okay. Wait. Why is that not working? Why is my stream not working? 1 second. Oh. Oh. I see. Hang on.
Follow my...
Hang on, guys. I just did all that for no reason. That was brutal. I was like trying to show who my people were. And like, now why is my webcam not working? The fuck? Game capture. It's set to Rogue Trader. Why doesn't this work? It's like...
Victory awaits!